Greetings, Jay Stone here. I'm the host of the Cap and Ball Fanatic channel. Welcome to this week's video. You can see as we go on, the weather has changed here in Michigan. It's a little chilly. I'm hoodied up, but as a Cap and Ball Fanatic, I'm still pushing forward, and I know you are too. Even when the snow piles up, we're going to be out here shooting. Today, let's take a look at perhaps one of the most popular Cap and Ball revolvers, but yet it's the least talked about on websites and on YouTube sites and even on the social media sites. And there are reasons for that, and we'll talk about that a little later on. But today we're going to feature the 1851 Navy by Pietta in .44 caliber. And I have to do now what everybody expects me to do, which is to say, I realize this gun didn't exist in history. It's not historically accurate. And my attitude about that is, so what? It's fun. So let's take a look at how she does today on the range. Okay, let's take you through the loading process here of this Pietta 1851 Navy in .44 caliber. So what we're going to use is, today I'm going to shoot Pyrodex because I'm almost out of black powder. So we're going to use about 22, 23 grains of Pyrodex. Now, why am I not shooting 25? Why am I not shooting 30? How come I don't know if it's 22 or 23? Well, if you use one of these volume measures, there's no way to get it accurately, and I'm not going to bring out a scale to measure. It's somewhere between 22 and 23. That's what I have found to be my best load for this gun, this revolver for target shooting. And I use Pyrodex because it's cheaper by the shot. So I shoot so much at home that I use Pyrodex quite a bit when I'm here, and I mix in some powder, and I use powder when I go to the club and whatnot. So we're going to shoot about 22, 23 grains of Pyrodex. We're going to use 454 round balls that are right here that I have home cast. We're going to use some greased lubed wads, both that I've made at home and that I purchased because I've found a source that I can get them cheaper than I can make them. And we're going to use number 10 Remington caps out of this snail capper. I use the snail capper is wonderful for Colts. It doesn't work on Remington revolvers, so then I use one of those star cappers or a straight line capper. So let's load this up. So the gun's ready to go. I like to use a stand. It just makes it all work better for me. So we're going to take and pour in, hope you can see that, pour in our powder into our measure. We're going to pour it in, just like that. Give it a knock to settle it. We'll take our wad. We'll settle that in as square as we can possibly get it over the top of that chamber. If it isn't square enough, I'll use a little screwdriver and push the tall end down. Then we're going to take our 454 round ball with the sprue up, put it in there. Bring it over here, line it up under the rammer, and I pick it up off that thing and then ram it home. And then we'll go on to the next one. We're going to load 6 of these just like this. So I'll get these loaded and then we'll go to capping it up. I also want to mention, lots to talk about chain fires these days. If you can see, I'm under the light. See that round lead ring that was shaved off of my 454 round ball? When you're shaving off a solid lead ring like that, when you push your lead round balls home, that means you're getting a good seal on that chamber, which is going to stop flames and sparks from jumping from one cylinder to the next and causing a chain fire. So when you look at the size balls you're going to use, make sure you're using them that gives you a good seal. Now the 454 round ball works on almost all of my 44 calibers. I've got one that the chambers seem a little bigger, so I use 457s. But for the most part, 454 round balls work really well. 451s will give me a little bit of a seal, but sometimes it's only half of a lead ring, and I don't like that because if I'm only getting half a lead ring, that means half of that ball, there might be room in there for flames to jump from one cylinder to the next. I don't worry so much about chain fires on the nipple end, but I do about chain fires on the front end, and I think this will prevent about 99% of your chain fire possibilities if you just make sure you have a good lead ring. Okay, so now we're going to cap this with our snail capper. You just push the little button and shake it, and a cap will pop right on the end. And you slide it on, and then you shake it again, and the cap pops off, and you slide it on. And you shake it again, and the cap pops out, and you slide it on. And you shake it again, and the cap. See how quick and easy this is? This thing holds about 100 caps, so it's good for a couple days of shooting for me most of the time. And then what I do is I take a carpenter's pencil. See, it's kind of oblong, unsharpened carpenter's pencil because it fits in there nice. And I just give them a little bump. Unless you hit this with a hammer, they aren't going to go off. And I'm just seating the caps. And there we are. And then when I'm done, pull the hammer back, get it centered on the notch, drop it down, twist it a little bit, and we're safe on the safety notches, firearm into the holster. All right, let's go shoot. I shoot out of a bag, a possibles bag, because it's easy to carry this stuff, so that's what you're seeing on my hip. So we're at about 15 yards, and we're going to put these first ones on paper. I hope. Pretty good. Little left. Oh, we had a hang fire. So I missed that. I didn't hold it long enough. Hold the gun out there when you get one of those. The nipple must be plugged. So when you get a cap that goes off, but the charge doesn't fire, assuming you didn't dry ball it, which means putting the ball in the chamber, in the cylinder without any powder, you stand there and hold it for 30 seconds or so and make sure that it's not going to go off. And then what you do once you know it's safe is you keep the barrel pointing down range, you gently walk in, put on another cap, and it should go bang this time. So let's see. Yep, it did. Yep, it did. Not bad. 5 out of 6 with that one hang fire. So I got to learn to hold a little bit better so the hang fire hits the target too. Let's take another 6 at the paper targets down there. Hope the wind doesn't blow my target off. Or my camera down, I should say. I'm aiming about 6 inches low. The red dot. Which is about typical for these Colts. What'd they say? Aim at the belt buckle, hit him in the chest. That's the Civil War saying. What they say? We're shooting at that paper target right down there. As you can see, I've already put 5 on the target. I missed one. This is my second cylinder full for this. So let's see if I can. Don't know where that one went. Oh, it's right at the neck. I just double hold that one. Right by the red. I found my point of aim. It's right at the bottom of the black. Let's walk down and see. We had 5 to start. Let's go see if we put a few more on the target here. So, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So we put all 6 of those shots on the paper. I missed a little into the yellow, but you know what? Not bad for an amateur. So let's talk for a minute about this particular piece, because I've got some attitudes about this and the way we treat this online. This is the 1851 Navy in .44 caliber made by Pietta. It's a beautiful gun, beautiful piece. Now, obviously, a gun of this configuration on the Navy frame with the octagonal barrel in the rebated cylinder to make it .44 did not exist in the 19th century as is. We know that. That's fine. We shoot other revolvers, cap and ball revolvers, that did not exist in the 19th century, and nobody makes a big deal out of it. The Ruger Old Army being one that was invented in the 70s, 1970s, for that matter. So I think we should stop that. It is a nice shooting pistol. It's a more, if you look online, it's a more inexpensive version of the .44 caliber. I've seen them as much as $75 to $100 cheaper than the Pietta and the Uberti 1860 Army .44 calibers and some of the other ones. So I think it's a great way for some people to get in. Myself, I bought this really early in my cap and ball journey. I didn't know it was historically inaccurate, and quite frankly, I didn't care. The Navy frame fits my hand. It's .44 caliber. It's a good shooter. I was having a blast with it. But here's what I think has happened that's made it so not talked about. Is I'm sure sometime years ago, because this is how this goes in sort of niches online, sometime a long time ago, somebody mentioned they were shooting an 1851 Navy in .44 caliber. And my guess is that somebody who everybody thought knew something said, you know, that's not historically accurate. And then from that day forward, if you check online, every time somebody mentions one of these things, invariably, somebody's going to say, well, you know, it's not historically accurate. And then we stop talking about it. Well, I was even asked about this on my YouTube channel not too long ago, where somebody said, hey, we'd love to see you feature the 51 Navy in .44 caliber. I realize it's not historically accurate, almost as if we're ashamed of it. Now, look, I'm trying to be as historically accurate as I possibly can be, right? I like that. I mean, I'm dressing the part. I'm using paper cartridges. I'm doing my study. I'm doing my history. I'm trying to shoot historical, one-handed, offhand, not fixing the sights, not doing any of that stuff. I'm trying to do this like our forefathers would have done this in the 19th century. But you know, here's the deal, right? If the 51 Navy in .44 caliber is attractive to you, whether it's because of the way it fits you or because of the cost, because they tend to be a little cheaper, and it gets you into the hobby, it drags you into this cap and ball hobby, which is so much fun. And if that's your gun, then I say wear it with pride. Stop apologizing that it wasn't historically accurate. Just say, I'm shooting it and I like it and it's fun and I can hit stuff with it. And you know what? I don't care if it was historically accurate. Now, some of my friends are going to go, oh, Jerry, you've lost your mind. But what we want are people shooting cap and ball revolvers. So when they get one and they say, I'm proud of it, I've seen this where the guy, the poster was proud of it. And 3 or 4 people came in and said, of course, it's not historically accurate. And the conversation just stopped. I mean, I don't think it's the intention, but I think it carries a little bit of almost shame with it. And maybe that's why, if you look across the sites that do cap and ball revolvers, very few videos are done on this particular pistol. Now, I love it. It's fun. We're having a blast. And if it's the pistol you like that gets you into cap and ball shooting and makes you become a cap and ball fanatic like myself and the rest of us, then you know what? God bless you. Wear it with pride. Shoot it in public. Talk about it loudly. And you know what? Have a great time with it. Because after all, folks, this hobby is about fun. Right? We can be historically accurate. We can do all this stuff. We can dress the part. We can spend all that money. We can do all that research. But if it ain't fun, we ain't doing it. So this is about fun. So if you like your 51 Navy and 44 caliber, because I know y'all have them. They're really popular. Pull it out, proclaim it from the mountaintops. This is the revolver that I have the most fun shooting. And I don't care whether it existed in the 19th century or not. Because we never say this about the Ruger Old Army. We wear that one with pride. And that wasn't invented until the 1970s. So I think we ought to even it up a bit. All right? 15 yards. Steel gongs. Greetings, Jay Stone here with sort of an after-action discussion of the 1851 Navy and 44 caliber by Pietta. This particular beautiful piece right here, the one that I think we all ought to shoot with pride. But nonetheless, you saw that in two occasions, one when I had the GoPro camera on, and the other one a little later on where we shot at two paper targets. And they don't make noise like steel, so I thought I'd bring the targets up. I'd do the string test to measure shooter accuracy. If you're interested in that, I'll put the link to my video explaining the string test in the program notes below. Go check that one out. This tests shooter accuracy over gun accuracy, one-handed offhand. So here's what we've got. When I was shooting the GoPro, I was shooting at 20 yards. You saw 6 of those shots. There was actually an additional 6. And actually there was an additional two cylinders there. So I put 15 shots on target from 20 yards. I was aiming at the red dot. So we measure each one of those. Aiming at the red dot, I got a total inches of 45, 15 shots, which means my string test average accuracy towards average distance from where I was aiming across 15 shots was 3 inches. Which is my target. When I get to 3 inches or below, one-handed, I'm good. So that was this one. We got to 3 inches at 20 yards. You saw both of the cylinders here. This is when we had the misfire and the hang fire. Here I put at 15 yards. I put 15 or 11 of the 12 shots on this particular target. You see I got a couple in the red. Measuring from the red for each one of these, accounting for the one that I missed. My total inches came up to 23.5 inches. I divided it by 11. I'm at 2.14 inches average distance from my point of aim across all of these shots. At 15 yards, I'll take it. That for me. I can't speak for y'all, but for me, that's fantastic shooting. Well, as you can see, we had a blast with that gun, with that revolver. That is a lot of fun to shoot. I'm sorry that it seems that every time somebody mentions it online, somebody has to point out to them that they're somehow being historically inaccurate. I don't think that should matter. If that's your gun, use it. Even if it's not just your only one, and you enjoy it, and you like it, and it fits your hand, I say use it, and talk about it, and shoot it with pride. Hell, you can take it to some of these clubs, the club I'm in, for revolver matches, and nobody's going to know the difference. So just take it and shoot it. Enjoy it. Well, I hope you like this. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please hit the like button. Help us with our algorithm. Please share this with your friends, and remember to subscribe to the Cap and Ball Fanatic channel. Once again, I'm Jay Stone. I'll see you on down the road the next time.